everybody. We are joined by Eric Carty, your favorite water and sewer manager from the Hopkinton DPW, and we're going to talk some weather trends and maybe some other topics. But let's start off with the weather trends. Eric, it's been kind of a wacky couple of weeks. You had some spring-like weather, and last few days you got some winter-like weather. But obviously in New England, you never know what you're going to get in March and April. So based on what you know, what do you think we can expect in the upcoming few weeks weather-wise?
So, well, maybe just to go back one step further, a lot of the long-range outlooks had the end of March being a very warm month going forward. So, as we can see, that didn't quite play out the way they had predicted. Overall, the month has been warmer than normal. You don't really think about it that much because we've had some of these cold days. Being in the teens today certainly erases those memories. But overall, it's been slightly above average, which has been good. Coming up, the outlook is for us to stay right around average again, maybe a little bit cooler. With hopefully the stormy pattern getting ready to break. The way that the jet streams have been set up, there's just been all kinds of energy coming from the northwest, which dipped down in the middle of the country, and then from the Gulf Stream, all that moisture and energy had been coming up from the south, and those kept meeting in the middle, which was generating all of our weather, which pretty much it rained every single weekend in March. I think this is going to be the first one coming up that so far looks good. So that pattern's looking to finally break down. And that jet stream should hopefully shift northward, which will give us the warmer air coming up. But we can always use the rain. Thankfully, we haven't had as much as we did during the spring and summertime last year. But so like you said, it's in New England here. You never know what's going to happen. But that seems to be what the outlook's looking at right now.
Well, one of the things I think we could assume is we're more than likely done with the snow for this winter season, right?
Yeah, they had looked at about 2 weeks ago. We were looking for this Thursday, Friday. There was a potential to be a very big storm because the energy was all there. And they're actually calling for a few flurries when that front comes through, but that looks like it's dissipated. And generally this time of year, it's hard to get anything generated. I mean, we can go back to 1997. I remember that well. April Fool's Day, we had over 3 feet of snow. So you can never say never, but the chances of that are very remote.
Yeah, that must have been quite an April Fool's Day.
Well, the big thing was getting ready for the marathon because I was only 2 weeks away from that point. The highway had to go up and actually bring loaders onto the high school field. They had to bucket the snow off the field so they could set up the athletes' village because there was just so much snow on the ground.
Absolutely, and so we didn't get too much snow this winter, but I know it's probably been busy over at the DPW. How's everything going? And you'll have to start getting ready for the marathon soon, once again, in a few weeks.
Yeah. Actually, the highway was very busy, although there wasn't a lot of snow. We actually ended up a little bit above average, and Boston actually beat out Worcester in terms of snowfall for the first time in about 50 years. But there was a lot of, because of all that energy that I talked about earlier, there was a lot of storms that ended up having rain. It was like 60 degrees and raining, and then the next day the temperature would just drop to freezing. So the highway had to go out multiple times salting. That happened. I can remember at least 3 weeks in a row we had that same scenario. We had ended up record high days and followed by a below normal day afterwards with the precipitation. So it kept them busy. So, but now, like I said, everything's focused on getting ready for the marathon. The highway's actually been out doing a lot of sweeping, getting stuff in preparation. About the week before the marathon, we'll go out and we'll check our pipes in the center of town, both the water and the sewer, just to make sure everything's all set for that for the big day. This will be the first one in 2 years or 3 years now that be back to normal operations with everybody being there at once.
Well, we're all certainly happy that things are getting back to normal for sure. But so weather-wise, pretty much done with the cold weather, you think, and warm weather should be coming in relatively soon, hopefully, right?
Yeah, and the outlook for the summer was most of spring. They were saying it was going to start to dry out. So hopefully we don't get into a scenario like we did last year. We had started on a drought in the springtime, but that quickly turned into a deluge that seemed to last all summer long. We ended up with record amounts of rain after that. But the forecast now is just to be probably on the drier side for spring and then a little bit below normal excuse me, a little bit above normal for summer temperatures.
All right. Well, Eric, we know you're busy over there. We'll let you get back to it. Thanks for joining us and filling us in on the upcoming weather trends.
All right. Thanks as always for having me, Tom.